I thought I was like, if you had your, if you're still on your gum.
I was, but it's like I stopped it when I got to Fox because it was harder to reach it. It wasn't even nothing else. I was like, we didn't have a little desk there, and I put it there, and it was too big. I was like, man, this ain't it. And I let it go, and I should have just kept it going.
You should have kept it going.
Should have kept it going.
You need to bring that back on your IG. Because people don't know that. Like, it's such a bugged out thing. And if you do it, it's the kind of thing on IG that's people
real.
Be.
All right, I'm going to give you the credit for revamping it. Every day I used to
so
put that
disgusting. But if you do it, I know you know how to do it, but if you bring it back on your IG, like, people will be like, what the? Because some, you think people like seen it all. It's like,
yeah, that's the thing. You've been in the game so long, you think that it ran its course.
That didn't run its course.
Nah, good point.
That'll never run its course.
Look at me, I'm putting notes down. My dog said, "Do it again." I'm putting it down for real.
Are you ready?
Yeah. I'm ready.
All right, I'll start my thing.
Okay.
Brand new Bang and I am Rapaport Stereo Podcast is here. Have no fear. One of my favorites.
Say it again.
One of my favorites. I've said it to him in real life.
Yeah, you have.
I've said it to him on social media. I've said it to him across the desk when I've worked with him throughout the years.
Yes.
Iconic name.
Whose? Oh, my name. Yeah, okay. I was about to say, not me, but yeah, my name is iconic. They don't know.
We're going to break it all down. Marcellus Wiley, the great Marcellus Wiley.
Yes.
Los Angeles legend, University of Columbia graduate, never shut up university educated, curator, 10 years in the NFL. People forget that.
Yeah.
It's like some people may not even know, like the young folks.
Yeah, I got a gang of stories like that. I'm like, damn, they forgot how I used to get it. I used to use these muscles for
They think
something.
Yeah. Played for the Bills, the Cowboys, the Chargers, the Jaguars. It's almost that time of the year. Daily podcast host of More To It. Also, that dude on YouTube, grinding it, banging it out every single day. Decorated career, ESPN Television, FS1, and now on the I Am Rapaport Stereo Podcast. Plus, your podcast is also on iHeart.
Yes.
Just like me, number 75 in the programs, number 1 in your hearts. And like I said, before we get into I interview you, I have always loved your takes because for me, you have been one of the most versatile commentators because number 1, you played.
Yeah.
Number 2, you're a fan. Okay. Number 3, you're smart. Number 4, you have a great sense of humor. Number 5, you don't take yourself that seriously. Number 6, you do take things seriously.
Yeah, you caught that.
So that's why I always enjoyed you. Before I met you, I enjoyed you with Max and Marcellus. I enjoyed you on all the different shows at ESPN. I enjoyed you at ESPN, at FS1. I enjoy you on YouTube. I enjoy you on IG. And I'm really glad you're here.
Man, that's love, man. To hear a eulogy and still be alive, I take it. In real, what I love about what you said was the fact that it wasn't just glossy. It wasn't just high level. It wasn't just Wikipedia or what you think I should hear. You actually know me and you know my intentions, and it comes across, I assume. It's funny. I've had so many co-hosts. I've been on so many shows. I've been doing it for so long. And it's always interesting when people come up to me and they're like, man, I used to love you on Max and Marcellus, or I loved you on Sports Nation, loved you on Speak For... And then sometimes it clicks with me. I'm like, damn, maybe they just love me because all those shows were completely different, but to your point of being versatile. And I'm only versatile because of myself. I'm not acting. I'm not, the light is on. Let me now be a broadcaster. I'm like, dog, you asked me a question, I got an answer. And it's just that simple because my experiences is my expertise. I've lived through it. I've been through it. Whether it's on the field, off the field, the streets. It's like every level of what this culture kind of represents, it just seems like I got a degree in that from experience. So I just let people know what I'm about.
Well, I like I said, I love it. Before we get into specific questions, you've told the story 7 billion times. Marcellus Wiley, Pulp Fiction, the name. How did you find out about...
Yeah.
Did you find out about it when you went to the movie theater?
No, I didn't even see Pulp Fiction in theater because I heard it was so weird, and I was like, I ain't gonna waste my little money. What was it, $7.50 back then? I was like, I ain't got it. I wasn't gonna do it. I actually thought you were gonna bring up my name comes from someone more iconic than that. You know that, right?
Break it down.
Cassius Marcellus Clay.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I mean, I know Cassius Marcellus Clay.
Yeah, that's where I got my name from. So I got a lot to live up to. I got a lot of catching up to do. But that's where my name gives me power. And knowing his family and knowing Layla and Curtis and the whole fam, I mean, it really is inspiring just to know that that's your name. My mom intended for her son to have that name so that I could live up to that kind of presence. So I was like, damn, I'm a lot of pressure. But Pulp Fiction was hilarious because it was Inglewood, and I started playing football in Inglewood, and I'm Marcellus, he's Marcellus Wallace, I'm Marcellus Wiley, and it's just like when people come up to me, they're like, yo, what's up, Marcus? And I, you know, most cats be trying to correct somebody on their name. I don't give a damn about your name, I don't give a damn about my name like that. You really came up to me and said, what's up to me, not Marcus Marcellus. So I don't really correct cats, but then it started getting weird. They were like, Marcellus Wallace. And then they go, ha, ha, ha. Like, all right, I ain't got no Band-Aid in the back of my head, bro. They ain't bending me over like that with the apples. So relax. So that's the only time I kind of check a cat.
That's dope. I didn't know the Cassius Marcellus Clay. Mm-hmm. All right. You are no longer at the confines of ESPN, although, like I said,
Fox.
You talk, you are a great talker, but you do it in an articulate way. You do it where, you know, like it's a skill set, you know, like for me, sometimes like I need a you know, but I've never cursed on live television. Not once.
Not once? You didn't get caught slipping?
Never, not once. And people are shocked. You know, when I go on live TV, if I go on a talk show, one time I was a guest on, I can't remember what show, but they had the lawyers come down. They're like, you know, I'm like, come on, man, you don't need to send the lawyers out. Like, I know where I am.
They preempting this shit.
But but how is it different for you being sort of untethered? Because you know, and you can break it down as much as you want, the confines of when you're at certain networks, you can't say this about certain NBA players. You can't say this about certain NFL players.
Yeah.
You know, break it down, being untethered, and break it down with the confines of being on a network.
Yeah, let me walk through it. So I started, my first show was actually in 97, my rookie year. I got drafted. So I had a local TV show. It's just like Follow That Dude or something. I don't know. I forget the name of it. But it was in Buffalo. And it was like a reality show, literally before reality shows really hit. So I was like the first Kardashian. Like, they follow me in the mall. They follow me at the crib. They watch me in my DJ studio, my rap studio, because I was rapping back then. I'm still top 5 hydrated. That means when I'm lit, I'm top 5 in the world. It's no doubt.
So you say.
So they say.
No. So
Big Tigger.
So you say.
Big Tigger, ask him. Eddie George, ask him. I have been documented, validated.
So you're saying so they say.
So they say.
Okay, I'm still saying so you say, but go ahead.
I love you.
Go ahead.
So I had that show. Then I started at NFL Network before they opened. So their first day on air, NFL Network, owned by the NFL, I'm me. So I've always been me. Lights on, lights off, camera on, camera off. And I'm working there, and I'm a correspondent. So I'm an active player interviewing guys during the playoffs when we didn't make the playoffs. So I'm running up to Peyton Manning, the homie, like, hey, how you doing, Peyton? Amazing game, you know. LaDainian Tomlinson, my former teammate and homie. Hey, and I got amazing stories of them being surrounded by the scrum, 50 reporters, you know, all the big names, and them just locking eyes with me like, Wiley, come here, and giving me the serious dope uncut. And I was like, I love this. So I wanted to be in the media, but I was still playing ball. Once I was done, and I was thinking for 6 months, I was like, I'm about to chill, golf, date, mess with every girl, ride around in circles in my Rolls Royce, just clown around, right? And no lie, I was doing that, getting fat as I got up to like 311 pounds. I was just winning. I mean, I was looking like I was living in an entourage, and it was unfulfilling. I felt hollow, and I was like, I gotta do something. And then ESPN called, was like, can you come in, do some interviews, same old, same old. But this time it was a job interview more so than just regular interviews. Let me tell you what happens when you're at NFL Network. You can't talk about the league with it being dope, like direct. Like, you got to dance around it. You got to gloss it up. So I wanted to say something at the time about Paul Tagliabue or something. I forgot. But they were like, no. So that was the NFL Network experience. You have 98% of this space that's latitude, but this 2% over here, I wouldn't do it if I were you. So I was like, ugh, I don't like that. Go to ESPN. The only times they tap you is when you're talking about their partners, like NBA or something, you're going a little too hard. Beto found that out the hard way. NFL, you're going a little too hard. Or you're not showing camaraderie. Like, you don't feel what your co-host is saying. You don't feel what a guest is saying. It's still this like tea party. Like, we all got to be pleasant and have PC talk, even though we going in on each other.
But you're supposed to debate, though. Like, break that.
Yeah, the debate is natural, but it's intentional. So
explain.
It's natural. So they'll go through a rundown. We start the prep of the show. Who's going to win, Jets or Patriots? I say Jets, you say Jets. We ain't going to talk about that. Who's going to win, Giants or Falcons? I say Giants, you say Falcons. Oh, keep that one alive, because naturally we disagree. They go through that. Is Tom Brady great, or is Tom Brady just good with great success? We disagree. So they'll just start to pinpoint, where do we naturally disagree? And then there's always going to be some I'm on the fence, like, Brady, Belichick. I'm like, it's both. And then you're like, it's definitely Brady. We're going to do that one. So what they find is where we are polar opposites, or where we're kind of in the middle, but we could go either way. And that's a debate show. Go out there and give them that. You come from this angle, this angle. We didn't make up our opinions, but now we know our opinions differ, and all we're going to do is argue that. So that's what a debate show is at its core. It's a natural process, but it's intentional.
Right.
Kind of like reality shows. Like, reality shows don't tell you what to say. They just heavily edit and heavily produce it, right?
Right.
But you're going to be you. And if you crazy, if you ratchet, whatever you are, we going to catch that. So I found that FS1, I had the most freedom. At the same time, that freedom felt a little like, damn, do they care as much? Because they just letting us roll. So it wasn't the check-ins as much as other networks, but there was more freedom. And I never had felt that wrist slap, like, hey, don't go there, unless it was against your co-host. They always want you to prop them up.
They always want you to prop them up, even within the confines of disagreeing. So they don't want you to like disrespect or like take it to a different, like where some of the thing that happened with Shannon and Skip, where it's kind of like, you want them debating, but you don't want it where it's like getting messy or ugly.
Yeah, I mean, look, you don't want to get personal, one.
Right.
Two, you want to talk about the act, not the actor. And a lot of times when you see it's ugly, you can easily see it as they're talking about the actor. Like, we're talking about Brady. Skip talking about Brady. Shannon talking about Brady. Oh, no, Skip talking about you, Shannon.
Right.
And then Shannon stopped himself, but he was about to say,
right,
what the hell you done? You know what I mean? And then it was like,
then it gets to it's ugly.
Yeah, and they don't like that at all, because
do you like that, or do you think that's important to keep it?
I can take it, so I like it, because if I'm going to give it, I could take it. But I grew up joning on cats. I grew up like, the way I show love is clowning you.
Right.
Matter of fact, if you my homie, you ain't clowning me, I don't think you the homie. Because I'm not perfect. And if you can't balance this out between, oh, you're amazing, you're the man, you play ball, and dog, you got eye boogers, you can't get her number. Like, we ain't homies like that.
I agree.
I think that's where they're losing their authenticity, is because someone's now on the internet, independent, calling it like it is. Whereas up there, you can still see the dress up of a debate, or the dress up of the fact that you are arguing, not the full raw, I'm at the barbecue with the homie, we disagree, and we still gonna pound them, we still gonna grab a drink, but we going in this moment.
If you, Marcellus, with all your experience as a player, all your experience as a person, all your trash talking abilities, all your experience in front of the camera. This is just, I didn't know I was going to ask this question, but I think this is a good question for you.
Yeah.
If you were going to create the ideal 2023 heading into 2024 sports show, what would it be and how would it look?
Oh, that's
There's
great.
no right or wrong answer. I'm asking you off the cuff.
I think I'm on to what that is. Like, I got tired of talking to people, because when you're on TV, you're talking to people. Whether they're watching you intimately and really listening, or like most people, you're kind of background noise. You're at the sports bar, or I'm in a house, but I'm doing stuff, but you're on. I got tired of that. So the ideal show is you talk with people. So one segment is with you, co-host. Another segment is me, you, co-host, and the people, a fan experience. Like somebody coming in from their home, they're doing the same thing. Like, because I learned that looking at comments, and I love looking at comments, good or bad.
Comments.
Comments.
Oh, comments.
Yeah. I don't care. Like, if you talk trash about me, I'm going to grab the learn from that, like, oh, he right about that. And then the rest of it, I'm like, oh, I don't care what you think about this. And then I move on. I like to engage with cats no matter if it's positive or negative, but there's wisdom in the crowd, man. If you read through your comments, your game gets sharper.
I agree.
Now, if you scared to read through your comments, then you just going to be in your bubble and you're going to keep, like, just be in your echo chamber. You're going to keep saying the same stuff. So I let the comments kind of navigate me, be like, oh, I should take a little off there or put a little more on there. So I think the ideal show is you're discussing, not debating, and you're bringing in the people who you actually trying to serve. Like, why have an audience and then you're not really caring about what the audience thinks or says and acting like the audience is so dumb that whatever I say is an expert opinion and you fool better take it. And if you don't believe it, you're wrong. And then every weekend, we're wrong. Jets won. Oh, I said the Patriots. Oh, you know what I mean? Brady is amazing. He could do no wrong. Oh, he threw 4 picks. You know what I mean? Like, it's okay. I think we have kind of disconnected ourselves from the full experience. From me playing to me talking, there are steps that are being skipped, and I'd rather they go back and address them.
One of the things that's changed so much in new media, podcasts. Everybody's got a podcast. Everybody's got a YouTube.
Everybody in the club getting tipsy.
Everybody. Is it that there's opinions everywhere under the sun? Do you feel liberated in a way that because you talk, but like on Instagram, like I feel like on social media and YouTube now, especially your YouTube page, like and on your podcast, you could amp it. Do you feel like a sense of like you could do what you want, like you could really go hard on the NBA. If something happens in the NFL, you could do you feel liberated in that sense with it?
Not the full sense of liberated, because I was talking shit when I was working on those networks. In part, that was my lane. Like, don't ask Marcellus, he gonna tell the truth. Like, I started off at ESPN and I was on NFL Live. And, you know, NFL Live, you're supposed to talk about 3rd and goal and who's gonna win the game. I'm up there talking about girls and the club and how this dude really is. And they were like, you ain't gonna last long on this show. And he said, my boss said, and that's a good thing. So I had a personality. So they were like, you got to go to Sports Nation. And that's when Sports Nation took off.
Right.
Because I'm not over here, X's and O's, boring, I's and U's.
Right.
People, what's going on in the human experience? So let's talk through that. So I used to give emotional content to sports and where it intersects with life. Not so much, should Marshawn got the ball on the 4th? I don't give a damn. If he completes it, then he shouldn't have got it. They threw an interception, he should have got it. Like, it's a simple answer. So I was never that guy. It didn't really hit me at the core. So for me, what's liberating about what I do now, I will say there's one degree. Everybody that I work with, when I was at work with them, I had to protect them. They were my teammates.
Right.
And I hated that, even though I loved it.
I understand.
I loved the teammate, but I hated that you sucked or I disagree with you, and now I got to still keep you up, afloat. Or vice versa. Don't keep me, let me drown. I guarantee you I won't drown because you can't drown yourself, right? You know, so I'm not going to drown, dog. So we can go at it. And they always wanted us to stop short of that. Well, I ain't stopping short of that now because I will talk, and I do it in my way. So I don't take shots at anybody, but I will criticize what they've done. And when I was on air, I couldn't do that. So I'm sitting there next to Whitlock or Acho or Max or whoever, and we would disagree on a topic. But we never could get to the place where, no, I just disagree with you, homie. You know, we got to talk now. Because you saying that makes me think this. Now, address that. And those are so many more interesting avenues than trying to hide behind Dak Prescott when really it's something else with you. You know, you trying to just project on Dak. Really, I know your problem. You didn't play, or you didn't play well, or you suck, or you mad at athletes. And so I have this whole theory that the top guys in sports media are there in part because of a bitterness. And it's okay. It's okay, dog. I have not done everything in my life either.
Explain.
The bitterness comes from, look, the ultimate ego in this world is an athlete. because we all looked up to them growing up, because we all, at some point, even for 1 second, thought maybe I could throw this ball. Maybe I could hit this ball. Maybe I could do this flip, you know? So an 8th grader who's the man, national champion in track, you know, already getting recruited to go to college. He's in middle school. He walks around like a whole different animal than, because I was that guy. And it's like, damn. So I know my ego, and then I know what entertainment industry ego is. It's fragile. Like, y'all ain't the same. Like, someone subjectively said you're the man, and all of a sudden you're like, oh yeah, I am. Versus an athlete, everybody could deny you're the man, and you still are.
Right.
Right? Like, you can't say nothing if I get these results.
Right.
And that's why the athlete's ego is so different. Now, you talk about all those at the top of the game, they don't have that ego. So I see it leak out at times where they take these shots. They go on these rants and they go in on these cats, and they forget that those same dudes you talking about are better than all y'all at all things that you have done athletically.
100%.
Right?
I mean, 100% in regards to the sports. Like, you know, we say Brian Scalabrine because he's like sort of, this guy will bust everyone all day. And now
let me give you my quick story on Scalabrine. We played in a celebrity game. We down like 9 at half, and then Scalabrine's just being nice. I said, Scal, will you please take over the second half? He scored 27 in the second half, then we beat him by 15. I was like, he didn't miss a shot. That's what happens. If you ever been to an NBA practice, none of them miss shots. In the game, some of them don't play, and they miss shots because it's a relative experience. But I was like, to your point, Scalabrine shouldn't be taking these jokes. White Mamba shouldn't be taking these jokes.
The number 50th guy on any one of your football teams will probably bust your ass basketball also.
Right.
I mean, these guys are, you got...
What we got, budget cuts? What's up with the AC in here? Y'all trying to do me wrong? I'm a sweater, though. It ain't y'all, it's me.
Let's do
You
it. Yeah.
sure?
Yeah, because it's the sound. But
The
go ahead,
sound?
we'll do it.
I hope, because I will sit here start leaking on your head. All right, let's do it.
We'll do it. It'll be fine.
Liquid death, too? Oh, it's life.
Who do you like in sports media that has played sports, and who do you like in sports media that hasn't played? Stephen A. hasn't played. Shannon played. Skip didn't play. Who are the guys that you enjoy watching?
You know, I mean, I take a slice from all of them, but in totality, I love Colin Cowherd. I love him on air. I love him, especially in that radio element. Insane. Dan Patrick, I love. Stephen A., I love, but I know I know his beats now, so it's kind of like robbing me of like, you just know the movie now.
Right.
You know what I mean? And
We've seen him for so long.
Yeah, and so, you know, I love his entertainment value. I love his theatrics. He's captivating. Every time I'm like scrolling and I see Stephen A., I swear, I don't even read the caption. I'm watching it. I got to. I know he's going to give it to me. But I know what that is as well.
Right.
It's tough for the guys who used to play. It's simple. The guys who used to play have a deeper investment and a higher interest and a deeper respect for the game to go to those places. To be the man, I gave you the top 5. I give you, Skip, Shannon, Colin, Dan Patrick, Stephen A. To be those guys who all didn't play at the highest level, there has to be a part of your game that you're going to go there and that you have went there, right? It's almost like they say in their relationship, always be like 1% crazy, because they were like, they got to respect you. They got to know you'll go there. And I don't know if that's true, but I know in sports media, the cats who win, the culture rewards those who didn't play it. I never would go to that degree. I just wouldn't. And therefore, I plateaued. Part of the reason I left, because I'm in a velvet coffin. They are feeding me like a turkey to die slowly and be comfortable doing it. I am never going to get what Stephen A. gets. I'm never going to get what none of those names going to get, because I'm never going to go there. And that's fine. I'm comfortable with that. But then what really got me out the door, at least mentally, was like, wait a minute. Pat McAfee wasn't even allowed to get on ESPN. They didn't allow him on. They didn't think he was good enough, or he was a punter. That ain't good enough. And I was on ESPN. So I'm in the job that he wanted and couldn't get. Now I look up 5 years later, he done lapped me 90,000 times. And I'm like, wait a minute, the game done changed. So I've had these inflection moments in my life before. I went to Columbia. I didn't go to the football schools that were recruiting me. And cats were like, oh, you dumb, you ain't gonna make it to the league. Excuse me? And then I had the same moment when I was leaving the NFL. Only 10 years, I say only because I had more in me. And Cass was like, dawg, where you going? I was like, I'm going to probably broadcast. I don't know. I'll figure it out. You don't leave the NFL without knowing, and you don't leave the NFL to just go somewhere and talk. What'd you say? I didn't hear you. So now I'm in that same place. You don't leave traditional linear cable media to just go in your studio down in your basement and do a daily show. Y'all watch me. And that's what I'm doing, and that's what it's about.
Do you still speak to Max? Are you and Max cool?
Oh, that's my dog. That's my brother from another. I mean, I love that dude to death.
Because your show, Max and Marcellus, was awesome.
Best show ever, I think. And I humbly say that.
No, it was great.
And I humbly say that, but every single day of my life, it feels like someone comes up to me and says that. So I'm just now regurgitating. It was the best show.
Do you have you talked, would it be a possibility since he's no longer at ESPN, since you're a free agent, you're both free agents, and we're in a new media where you guys could do it on your own terms? Would that be something that would come back? Max and Marcellus, Marcellus and Max, would that come back?
Absolutely, it can come back. And I think I could say absolutely it will, but when is the conversation? All right, so, I'm going to say everything that if you know where to look, you would know this. But if you don't, you won't, because I ain't going to out my boy. Max got let go. We all saw it coming. Stop playing. Once him and Stephen A. had that beef, I was like, TikTok, because Stephen A. runs that spot. So I'm like, all right, they gave him this just in and, his boxing, but that was consolation. And I've learned in this game right now, when they don't intend for you to do something, when it's just an empty check, you're in trouble. Count the times, count the days, count the minutes. It's over. So I knew that was going to come to an end. When it did come to an end for Max, remember, he's still under contract, like getting paid. So he has a runway in front of him. Till next year, at the end of the year, he has a runway. Keyshawn got a 4-year runway. So they're both going to do things, but they just got time, and they can be patient with what they do. So as the friend, him and I have been talking, as the friend, not the co-host, business partner, I'm like, dog, figure your life out. Figure your sports media lane out. Don't worry about me. We always, soon as we left, because he told me day one when First Take called him. I remember we were doing the show, and during the break, he was like, this is how he talked. I'm laughing at him. I'm like, oh, this fool over there talking real money, real business. He hung up. He's like, they talking real. And we start talking through the details, and I was like, peace. I love you. This is amazing, but go get it. Because we were just local radio, but we were like the 4th most popular ESPN radio show. And all the rest were national shows. Mm-hmm. And we were beating national shows. We were killing it. And I was like, dog, peace. Go get your money. Go get your shine. But we always said we got a golden ticket in our back pocket. So we still do. It's just about when before we get it going.
I'm reading between the lines.
Yeah, you're so stupid.
I'm reading between the lines.
I'm trying.
Going back to what you said and what we were just discussing, are you, Marcellus, you're smart. You probably played basketball growing up.
And I suck. I played 1 year. I was the horrible one on the court. We won the championship. I suck.
But you played.
1 year. I wish I would have played my whole childhood because I would have been more athletic.
Okay.
But yeah.
You know sports.
I know sports.
You're a big Clippers fan.
Damn right.
Since you never played basketball at a high level, you self-admittedly suck.
Yeah, I do.
Should you be respected when you're talking about basketball, or is it coming as a sports and basketball fan? Obviously, when you talk football, I might not agree with you, but I have to take heed very seriously because you did it. Just like if I'm talking about film, acting, you might not agree with me, and it's but I've done it, and I've done it. Yeah. So when we listen to you talk about NBA, and since you're a diehard, poor Clipper fan,
shut your trap.
should that same thing apply? Like, should we listen to Marcellus when he talks about the NBA?
Absolutely, you should listen.
Why?
Just like, why should I listen to Bill Belichick tell me about the NFL and football when he only played at college at Wesleyan and was a center? Like, there are levels to this. Like, I'm not saying take my words to the same level and degree as you would Charles Barkley. You know what I mean? Like, calm down. I get it. There are levels to this. But I don't dismiss anyone. But I'm the same person that walks into the liquor store and the homeless guy is standing there. And besides giving them some money, I actually listen to, I say, hello, how are you? What's up? And if he says something, if he drops a jewel, I'm taking it and running with it. But I see a lot of people in this world will be like, oh, the homeless man said that. I'm always into the message. I don't give a damn who the messenger is.
I agree.
So when it comes